Hey there, Aries. Welcome to your reading for the week of May 22nd. We're just going to jump right in here, Aries. And in your current general energies, you have this card that says a personal issue reaches resolution, and you have the Eight of Swords. So clearly you could be being set free from something that has been holding you back. Yeah, there's like it's some sort of conflict that you've been experiencing. You have the Five of Wands right here. So this just, again, could be a conflict. It could be any type of conflict. What's interesting is for some of you, I kind of feel this could involve a move. That's literally what's popping into my head. And you do have the Six of Swords, which could be moving. But, it's like if you're like moving away from an area or something, that could be solving a problem that you've been experiencing. I'm also getting, like, especially if you've gone through a breakup, it's like maybe you've gone through a breakup and you have to like see a person or something like that. I don't know. It's popping into my head. So we're going to go for it. But it could also be work. Like if you're not making enough money, you could be moving and you could be getting a job that pays you like more than enough money. So I kind of have that energy here. I feel like obviously it's a positive change. It's going to be a good thing. I mean, you have some really good cards here. Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Swords, Magician, Six of Swords, like definitely moving on to calmer shores. So, and you have the Chariot. So move. Like you cannot make this up. Look, like Six of Swords, Wheel of Fortune to the Chariot. That literally says that a move will change your life for the better. So, if you're thinking about moving, I would say this is a very good reading for those of you that are thinking about moving. I would say if you're thinking about making a move, which could include like getting a new job, changing your business, something like that. It doesn't have to literally be a move. I would also say that is probably a good idea, especially just based off of that diagonal right there, the Six of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, and the Chariot. Very, very positive. You have the Eight of Swords, but again, it looks like you're overcoming an issue. It's kind of funny because I feel like some of you are choosing to do something emotional. That's what's popping into my head. Normally, the lady on the Eight of Swords, she's standing in like a little bit of water. I'm sure you've seen it on like a traditional Eight of Swords. And it kind of suggests that her emotions are very shallow. Like she could be, thinking that something is going to be more emotional than it actually is. Or maybe she's thinking that she's going to hurt a person or that they're going to hurt her, right? It kind of goes both ways. And what I would say here is it's like with the Six of Swords, I almost feel like you're making the choice to go through the emotions. So you could be like breaking up with a person because it's the right thing to do. Or, you could be moving away from a location where you live because it's the right thing to do. And, even though it's going to cause emotions. But, the Six of Swords is like a rite of passage. It's like something hard that we have to do to get to the other side so we can get like improvements or bigger and better things in life. You have the Five of Wands. I kind of get this feeling that you can't keep going back and forth in your head. It's like if we have to make an important decision in life, sometimes I think we can get the Five of Wands in those situations because it's not really talking about like conflict. It's more talking about inner conflict and the fact that we just can't keep going back and forth. It's like sometimes I think, there's like an old saying, I'm going to butcher it as usual, right? But it's like we spend, many of us spend 10 years agonizing over a decision that only takes 10 minutes, And so it's like one of those things. I kind of get that feeling here for you here, Aries, where it's like maybe you've been worrying about a decision that's like a 10-minute decision, but maybe it's been years that you've been thinking about it. And I kind of have that feeling on that Five of Wands. And you have the Death card. It's like making the change. So, I feel for a lot of you, it's like you're taking control here because we go Magician to the Ace of Swords. Magician, he controls his own reality. And, I feel like some of you are saying, like, I can't just allow my mind to keep thinking about this choice that I want to make in my life or this change that I want to make in my life. I need to take control. And that's what I feel like that's what you are doing here, Aries. I really like this a lot for you. With the Eight of Swords, you have two cards. You have the Nine of Cups, and you have the Five of Pentacles as well. Everybody gets the Five of Pentacles. I just think that, if we have to be super resourceful if we want to do anything. It literally could be anything. Travel, moving, getting into a relationship. It's like the universe, for whatever reason, is, I feel, forcing us to not go directly at something. Like if you want to start a business, it's like the old way of just like, having a business plan, putting things into action. I'm not suggesting you don't put things into action, but again, just like going straight towards it might not work as well. It'll probably still work, but just slower. I just think the universe is trying to say like, hey, there are like other ways to do things, and if you're open to those other ways of doing things, your life is going to be a lot easier. You have the Nine of Cups as well, which is like wish fulfillment. So I do feel there's like a wish coming in here. With the Five of Wands, you have the Three of Wands. What are you waiting for? I mean, the agonizing decision, right? Three of Wands is literally my card of like, what are you waiting for? So that's exactly what I was feeling, is that like 10 years, 10 minutes, type situation going on here. It won't even focus because it knows the camera knows that you need to get your ass moving here, Aries. So I feel like it's time to make a choice to kind of like create your own reality. And again, especially if you have one of those decisions in your mind where you've been thinking about it for a long time, I feel like it's just like saying, go find out, right? With the Death card, you have the Page of Swords. Page of Swords could be someone spying. I do feel, I wouldn't really call this a love reading, although there's a little bit of love here, but still, I do feel like maybe if you went through a breakup here, Five of Swords, to the Four of Cups, someone thought the grass was greener on the other side. I don't even think you're thinking about it. other than if you have to like see a person and you want to move away from this person or something like that. I was definitely getting that. Next, you have this crescent moon. This is coming up in what you need to know right now. And you have this card that says, as the moon grows, so can your wealth, health, and happiness. Stay positive. There you go. So I like that. You have this day and night. It says there is currently disharmony due to existing differences in some matter. We basically said that. So there is like some sort of difference in your life that you are experiencing. It's like we have to experience contrast, as Esther Hicks says, so we can move towards in the right direction. Most people, they just like stay uncomfortable, right? It reminds me of my old favorite story of, Les Brown. He tells a story about a dog laying on a nail, and he basically, a neighbor keeps hearing this dog that's like howling on his neighbor's deck, and one day he asks the neighbor, like, why is your dog howling? And he's like, because he's laying on a nail. And he's like, why doesn't he move? And the neighbor says, because it's not painful enough yet. That's like most people's lives. They just stay laying on a nail and they don't move, right? So I feel like if there are any nails in your life, it is time to get off the nail, get your ass moving, and start moving in a new direction. You have the Six of Swords, the Magician, and the Five of Swords here. It's kind of interesting. It's like you're being protected by the universe is what I'm getting. This Six of Swords, well, just a traditional Six of Swords, the guy in the back of the boat that's always in the back of the boat, he represents a guide. He is kind of someone who goes back and forth between the choppy waters. But you see how he's kind of like looking back here? Normally he's just looking forward on a traditional card, but on this one, it's like he's looking back. I get this feeling that for some of you, it's almost like, like your guides or maybe your ancestors, whatever you want to call it, are guiding you away from a situation. So I really do feel like you're starting to maybe that nail is starting to get uncomfortable, right? And it's like you're manifesting, amazing things. I feel like you are going to be manifesting like victories, changing your fortunes here with the Wheel of Fortune. The Four Cups could be like a little bit of head energy, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but for the most part, I feel like you need to take the risk here with the Five of Swords. Five of Swords can represent like, conflict, it can represent a breakup, it can represent winning at all cost. Could be maybe you were dealing with a person who wanted to win at all cost, but for the most part, I feel this is more talking about you taking the risk of making a decision, especially if you've been kind of like agonizing a decision. That's really what I feel like this reading is about. I feel like it's about some sort of thing that you've been thinking about for a long time. Let's see. Sorry, this deck is slippery, so they just slip all over the place. Let's see. With the Six of Swords, there you go. You have the Sun. You're definitely moving towards a lot more happiness. Again, if you have any doubts about starting something new, I feel, again, this change in direction here is going to be like a major victory. You have that Ace of Swords. Seven of Pentacles is a card of change in direction, so love it. With the Magician, you have the Lovers. Could be love, but again, the Lovers was traditionally, a card of crossroads, like having a choice to make. And, I've been nailing it this whole entire reading. I know exactly what this reading is about. So, I would pick the new path. Usually with the Lovers, if it's not talking about love, it's talking about like one decision is usually like way worse than the other one. If you, on a traditional Lovers, if you look at it, there's like a tree behind the man. It's like on fire. It looks like it's on fire. Then there's a nice tree behind the woman on the Lovers. So it kind of suggests sometimes to me that like one choice is better than the other. Usually they're the clouds with the higher self angel above the Lovers as well. The clouds kind of say that maybe those people are not listening to their higher self, or maybe they're not listening to their intuition or their inner guidance or, whatever. And so I do kind of feel it would be a good time for you to kind of like listen to your intuition, but not only your intuition. Again, the Magician, clarifying the Magician here, the Magician, he has mastery over all the suits. So he doesn't just use his intuition. He uses everything. He uses his intuition. He uses his tools, his logic, his thinking, his heart. He uses everything. So I would use everything. And again, it's like I talk about this a lot nowadays because, again, we have Neptune moving into Aries in 2026. And I know it's not there yet, but, the thing with Neptune and Aries is that it's going to be a lot of like this or that thinking. And, one way to make sure that you stay stuck for the rest of your life is to just have this or that thinking, right? Instead of like, how can we use everything together, right? They say two heads are better than one, right? So it's like, I see in the future, like how quickly we get there, I don't know. But, it kind of reminds me, years ago, I had a question from a person. They were like, what's better, medical doctors, like traditional doctors or traditional medicine? And, meaning like, homeopathic medicine and stuff like that. First off, I'm not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice. But I said that in the future, I think it won't be one or the other. It'll be a mixture of both. Right? So, that's just like one example. And I think that we can get around this whole like needing to go one side or the other if we just kind of start mixing things together. So in your personal life, I would say like you don't have to just use one skill or the other. Use everything at your disposal. With the Five of Swords, you have I'm just dropping it. You have the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is like communication. I would be careful of anyone who like can tug at your heartstrings. Like if you have an ex or something like that just kind of that you feel connected to for whatever reason, like I feel like you've moved on, but it's like, I don't know, we all have those people in our life, right? Where they're just like we look at them as like just a wounded little animal and we just want to take care of them, right? I would be careful if you have a person like that. I don't know, it popped into my head as like, saving an animal on the side of the road or something like that. Weird image, right? But it's like, again, maybe you have a person that can tug at your heartstrings. Maybe they always do you dirty, but again, maybe you see them as a wounded animal or something like that. And, I would be careful. This is why, because in the area of the unexpected, you have this marriage card with this mature man card. Doesn't matter what gender you're attracted to. I just think that, if you're looking for love, you could definitely be attracting a mature person. They might not be older than you. Intuitively, I'm getting like the same age. So, again, you might be, maybe it's like a couple years difference on either side, but, I feel just a mature person, someone who isn't a wounded animal, someone who you don't have to nurture and who you don't have to mother or father into existence, right? Someone who is just able to, take care of themselves. I'm kind of getting that vibe off of these cards. So if you want love, there is a little bit of love here. Could be an air sign. I'm like noticing a lot of air here. Could be any sign, general reading, but air in this reading is definitely standing out to me. So take how it resonates. But, if you want love. If you don't want love, I do feel that you are committing to, kind of like a new destiny in the sense that you have the Wheel of Fortune. I always say that the Wheel of Fortune is your destiny in the sense that it is your personal vision for your life. So I think sometimes people think of it like your destiny as in like you come to Earth with some sort of destiny. Might be true, but this is more like how you see it personally, right? And so I kind of feel like your destiny is changing in the sense that maybe you see some things that you could do or that you want to do or that you want to experience in your life. And, I kind of have the words figuring it out popping into my head. And, I don't really have a good example of like what the hell I'm talking about right now, Aries, other than the fact that it's like, sometimes I get comments. And again, this is not a statement on the comments. People always say, ignore the comments. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm trying to give an example here. So, the people that leave those comments are more annoying than those the other comments that I'm about to talk about. So don't even bother. But what I would say is, providing an example here, right? What I would say is that people leave comments that are like, you said I was going to make more money, but I just don't see that as being possible. And I'm like, okay, well, you have to go learn how to make more money. It's like, you're not going to just magically make more money, right? And you have the Ace of Swords and you have the Wheel of Fortune. Believe it or not, the Wheel of Fortune is a card of learning. There are normally the four signs, Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, and Leo, all around the Wheel of Fortune. In those four signs, they are holding books. It kind of represents the fact that you have to learn sometimes to take control of your destiny. The Wheel of Fortune is a card of control. There are two cards of control in the tarot: Strength card and also the Chariot. Strength card is card of soft control. The Chariot is a card of hard control, but also, the Wheel of Fortune is kind of a card of controlling your destiny, and I feel like some of you have to take control, but there could be some sort of action. Most people live their lives with the wheels just spinning all around them, and, it's like they're on like some sort of merry-go-round or roller coaster or hamster wheel, whatever you want to call it. So I kind of feel the Ace of Swords here is talking about taking control. The Ace of Swords is a card of sacrifice. It is a card of cutting something out and, kind of like moving towards something new. Normally, there's a palm frond on one side and an olive branch on the other side of the Ace of Swords. And again, it kind of represents cutting one thing out of your life so that you can have something else. Can represent an offer of peace. I do feel that some of you, again, could have this like wounded animal, coming back into your life, offering peace. Maybe you need to forgive and move on or, do whatever. With the Wheel of Fortune, again, definitely take control. With the Magician here, it would definitely represent taking control with your vibrations. But like I said, the Magician was screaming at me in this reading saying like, do not just just use one thing or the other. So yes, use your vibrations, but also learn how to take control, like learn how to make more money if that's what you need, learn how to attract love into your life if that's what you need, or like whatever it is, right? Educate yourself. Also, with the Wheel of Fortune, we can pay attention to cycles. We want to be at the middle center of the wheel because that's where things are always spinning around us. But when we're at the center of the wheel, and basically to get at the center of the wheel, we just have to pay attention to cycles that happen in life. When we pay attention, then we become successful. So, that's what I would do here. You have the Four Cups. Again, I feel like it's time to mix things together. Again, Four Cups is literally my card of mixing things together sometimes. He normally has the the 3 cups in front of him. He's got the cup reaching out of the clouds, and he's ignoring it. And sometimes I think with the 4 cups, we can be disappointed because we're trying to manifest something in our lives. And we could be thinking like, oh my God, I'm not seeing results. I'm not getting what I want. Sorry, I thought I wasn't recording there for a second. But anyway, again, we can think like, oh, I'm not manifesting what I want. But he's like, if you were trying to manifest a cake, for example, he's manifested the flour, the sugar, the eggs. He just has to mix it all together. And I kind of feel that energy for you where it's like, you're very, very close to like taking control of your destiny or, improving your destiny as in your personal vision for your life. But it's like things need to be mixed together. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Moon card. There was something on this Crescent Moon card. It says, as the moon grows, so can your wealth, health, and happiness. Stay positive. So again, maybe you need to do some like moon rituals around the times of all the moons. I'm not even getting just like this moon that we had here, the Taurus one. I'm getting like any moon. I would be doing some like moon rituals, things like that. Whatever you're into. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the King of Pentacles, definitely attracting permanent connection if you want love. Could be a Taurus as well, but, going this way, definitely could be a solid connection, some sort of boss. For the most part, though, I really, like I said at the beginning of the reading, there is love here, and there is a wedding card here, but I still read intuitively, and intuitively, I feel you're more the marriage card is more talking about commitment to, like, changing your finances or towards, achieving some sort of Wheel of Fortune, destiny, dream, something that you are imagining. With the 4 cups, you have the 5 of Swords. So this could be the disappointment and the breakup here. Again, someone's disappointed, Aries, especially if I don't think this is true for all of you. I think that it's only true for those of you that have been in a relationship recently or, in the recent past, maybe last year or something. This person could have regrets, but I kind of feel like you're moving on. So it's just that simple. Next, you have this Doing It the Hard Way card. It says, doing things the hard way instead of trying to find an easier way. It's crazy to me that every single person basically gets messages like this right now. Personally, I think that it's because Pluto went from Capricorn to Aquarius. From Capricorn to Aquarius, it's like the breakdown of structure, but also Capricorn, anything Capricorn. We had Saturn in Capricorn in 2016. We have Pluto leaving Capricorn. It's retrograding back, but it's going to leave at the end of the year and officially move into Aquarius this year. And, that switch right there is, anything Capricorn is efficiency. So, I've been saying this for like months now that people need to like look for better ways of doing things for sure. You have this fear of losing control. It says trying to control the outcomes in all aspects of your life. It's funny, I didn't even see this card, and this whole time we've been talking about control. This last row is meant to represent the good stuff. So again, I would say that even though this says fear of losing control, I feel like you are gaining control because it's showing up in the area of the good stuff, not the bad stuff. You have the 7 of Pentacles, the 3 of Cups, and the Chariot. Definitely a change. 7 of Pentacles is a card of a change in direction. It also kind of suggests that there's something much more worth it coming in into your future because, 7 Pentacles, he's planted those 7 Pentacles and he's taking like 1 pentacle with him to move forward to maybe plant something new. And I feel like there is like a change. You have the 3 of Cups. 3 of Cups is a celebration, so I do feel like there could be a pretty solid celebration coming in here. I also feel that you could just be spending more time with, like, not just love, but people who matter to you, and that could be very beneficial this week. And most important card here, you have the Chariot. You are clearly charging towards success at this time here, Aries. Again, I think the simplest thing for you to do would be to use all your skills. Like, don't just use one skill or the other. Mix everything together. I feel like you have certain skills that maybe you're not using, right? And so I would be mixing all those things together. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Pentacles. It could be love. It's kind of funny because, I remember years ago, I used to read this card right here. It's like this guy is like peeking out. It's like an abacus, but it almost looks like he's like spying from behind some shutters or something like that, right? And so it's almost like I get that feeling here where, there could be a person that either you're interested in or is interested in you. And, this Knight of Pentacles kind of is telling me that something, like I feel like someone needs to make a move here. With the Three of Cups, you have the Ace of Swords, definitely a victory coming in for you. Again, Ace of Swords twice, amazing. With the Chariot, you have the Knight of Cups, yeah, Knight in Shining Armor. So if you want love, it's here. But again, Knight of Cups is also a card of your dreams. Normally he's like looking into that cup, kind of dreaming of his perfect future life or, something that he wants to manifest. So I feel a lot of you could be manifesting some sort of dream here. Let's see what's going on for you. We're going to pull 5 main themes. You have this Sorrow card. I would be careful of this person that could be communicating with you that's sad. Like, too bad, so sad is what I feel like saying. So there you go. You have this Wife card. Definitely could be marriage if you're looking for love. Someone else had this card. It might have been Taurus. So you have Taurus showing up in this reading. So if you're attracted to a Taurus, it could be an Aquarius, Scorpio, Taurus, or a Leo because of that Wheel of Fortune or a Sagittarius. But, take it how air really stands out to me. So I'd say regardless of what sign it is, it could be a person who has a lot of air in their chart, or they could be like an air rising or something like that. But, definitely marriage material. You could be the wife, they could be the wife, whatever, take it how it resonates. You have this Thief card. A couple of people have had this card. We are entering into like a weird time. Like I wouldn't be, I've said it before, that I wouldn't be like, leaving a laptop on the backseat of your car and just leaving it out in the open where everyone can see it. It's like, don't tempt fate. Don't leave your front door unlocked and wide open, like stuff like that, I would just like pay attention. Again, a couple of people have had that card. You have this Frivolity card. I would be careful you're spending. Every single person gets something about being careful with spending. Why? I have no freaking clue. I feel that number one, there could be a lot of opportunities, I feel, personally, where if we spend all our money and we don't have the money, then we're not going to be able to take advantage of the opportunity. Like these could be opportunities to move and get out of a situation. Could be an opportunity to buy a car or something else that you need. But if you've like wasted a bunch of money, you're not going to have it to do it in the first place. So, I think we're in a time where we need to be more opportunistic in the sense that we need to look for good opportunities that present themselves. And we also need to make sure that we have the money to take advantage of them. Finally, you have this Faithfulness card. If you're attracting a person, definitely feel it's a very faithful person. I feel like you'll know right away as well. It's popping into my head. Like, this feels different. If you're attracting love, if you want it, I feel like you can sense it right away. It's like there's a certain, I don't know, I feel like there's a certain feeling that you have, that where you're like, this is my person, plain and simple. So, love it, Aries. This is actually a very good reading. So, thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.